Welcome to Store Brand Spotlight. I'm Greg Sleater, Executive Editor of Store Brands. Our guest is Sharon Davis, Director of New Business Development and Trade Show Sales for the Private Label Manufacturers Association. Sharon is responsible for targeting business categories and developing sales plans for new growth initiatives related to trade shows representing the member manufacturers. Key focus areas revolve around food and non-food products for the top 100 supermarket, mass merchandise, specialty, and discount retailers. Sharon and PLMA will welcome back attendees to the association's trade show in Chicago for the first time since 2019, this coming November. Sharon, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me to speak.
It's my pleasure, Sharon, and I'm sure everybody at PLMA will be excited and is looking forward to getting back to Chicago. So it's been an interesting past couple of years, but come November, the Chicago Trade Show will be back. As you and the association have worked to plan the show, what have you been hearing from exhibitors and attendees?
Well, at this point, we're busting at the seams, literally. We did not really know how to guess the number of exhibitors this year. In 2020, we tried to have the Private Label Trade Show live and in person, had to cancel it, and we morphed into Private Label Week, an online event. 2021, we tried to do the same thing again. It was around this time last year that we had to unfortunately postpone and then ultimately cancel the 2021 Private Label Trade Show and morphed into PLMA Global, another online event. So now, since 2019, there has not been a live in-person Private Label Trade Show, the largest event for store brands. And where we thought maybe there'd be 700 exhibitors, we're now over 1,300. That represents 2,300 exhibit booths. So as a staff, we are ecstatic, we're busy, we're tired, but we're thrilled for what's about to happen November 13th through 15th in Chicago, to be back in person for the engagement of buyers, to meet, touch, smell, try out, experience products in person again.
That's interesting. So was there any initial reluctance from the supplier community, or was it just once the doors opened, they came back and wanted to attend the Chicago show?
Well, there certainly wasn't reluctance in 20 and 21. We had exhibitors who had signed up. Companies were committed. They wanted to be back to the normal way of business, which is in person. But now it's just, we're delighted that we're the place that people want to come to set up a booth, to show themselves off. You're going to see your tried and true legacy exhibitors, those that you can expect a dependable product. But then you also have a lot of new companies have come on the scene and are with energy and excitement to their product that makes it fun for the buyers as well, who through the pandemic, there's been a lot of change and turnover with buyers. So there's also that excitement on the show floor with buyers who are going to be first time experiencing the private label trade show.
Have you noticed any difference in how companies are preparing for this year's show?
I think it's similar to the private label trade show itself. It's the old tried and true that you keep coming back to. So exhibitors are going to be wanting to engage with the buyers. They're going to want to hand out samples. They're going to want to have them come into their booth. The difference is that they're possibly considering taking larger booths than what they would in the past, so that there's still that feeling of space between talking with each other. You want to be back in person, but you still kind of maybe want a little bit of greater distance than you might have had in the past because of what we went through with the pandemic.
We haven't had a PLMA show, and trade shows went away largely for 2 years. Do you think not having them has re-energized folks about what trade shows mean and maybe have driven more folks back to the trade event?
Possibly very much so, because companies that reach out to me for booth space are saying, we just want to feel normal again. We want to see our friends. We want to meet new people. We want to get our face in front of people. So we know for ourselves that when we go to a family function or an event with our friends, it feels great to be seeing each other again. And it's like that for this business and this industry and trade shows. And what's the positive thing about the private label trade show is that you can expect the same look and feel of the event. Nothing is going to be not had that you would have experienced in the past. So buyers and exhibitors can arrive expecting to meet each other in this really exciting, energetic, positive event.
PLMA, had a sort of a test event or a test case, if you will, earlier this year with the Amsterdam show, which from all reports that we heard was an overwhelming success. People loved being back. Let me ask you this way. What was the key to that event's success?
I think it's just that it's Private Label Manufacturers Association. We know how to put on an event. And again, just like you had mentioned before, what's the drive right now? People want to be back with each other. People have a business that they are excited to show what they're doing. You have retailers who are really expanding upon their private brand program. And through the pandemic, we're really an important part of the consumer's way of getting product. Supply chain issues, well, buy the store brand. And found that they really loved it, that it wasn't something that they just took advantage of for the moment because it was available or the price was right, but that it really worked. It really felt good. It really tasted great. It really felt good on my skin when I put on the lotion. So that in itself was a driving force. What we learned from it is that we better be darn prepared for the on-site registration, because as much as we do advanced registration, the lines were out the door in Amsterdam. Fortunately, we have a really strong registration system, so we were able to get these people in very quickly. But that is one thing that we are well prepared in advance for Chicago this year.
It's been 2 years since the last Chicago PLMA show. For folks who are attending this year, what new features or events will they see and can they expect to see?
Well, the buzzword of the moment is sustainability. And a lot of that came to roost during the last couple of years because consumers really cared about where the materials were coming from in the world, how they felt and worked, and how to dispose of them afterwards. So all of that is going to be found in the exhibit hall. Products that are sustainable, products that have packaging that matter to the buyer. But what you'll see in highlighted this year are hemp-derived CBD products. We have a special dedicated area for that. Free from and plant-based products have a special dedicated area for that. And also wine from around the world. Wine is something that you can find much more freely in supermarkets and by the store brand itself. So you're going to find wines from Australia and Spain and Italy and other parts from around the world. And speaking of around the world, there are over 50 countries represented at the private label trade show. So it's a international felt show, which is why you have international products.
For first-time attendees, what advice would you share of how they can best take advantage of their time in Chicago?
Prepare, prepare, prepare. If you register before the event, 30 days before, you receive an online preview so that you can peruse through the list of exhibitors, not just A to Z, but by their category, so that you can actually even set up prearranged appointments, but mostly so that you can be able to work the 2 days of the trade show exhibit hall days and really utilize your time well to see everybody that you want to see. Because again, there are a lot of companies and a lot of energy, and it takes time to work your way through those exhibit halls. There's also, being that it's a 3-day event, it's not just trade show business, it's a social event. There's activities to participate in with an opening night reception, workshops and seminars, Monday and Tuesday morning keynote breakfast sessions. So it's an opportunity to be social and business oriented.
For those who are waiting to the last minute, want more information, want to sign up for the show, how do they go about that?
They should reach out to visitors@plma.com so that they can be issued the beginning process for receiving a visitor badge and understanding the pricing, the breakdown for the 3-day event.
Anything else, Sharon, you want to add about this year's show?
Come with comfortable shoes. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of activity to participate in. Don't just come for a day. Really plan to come in on Sunday, November 13th, and stay until the end at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, November 15th.
Well, Sharon, I know everyone at PLMA is excited. We're excited to obviously see the industry as a whole in Chicago. So I thank you for your time today. And we will see you in Chicago in the not too distant future.
I look forward to seeing you in the exhibit hall and sampling some of those products.